Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called Milo's Superpower by Mark Perlow and Justine Perlow and illustrated by Debbie Nolasco. Milo loves his brother Oliver, but Oliver often gets all the attention. When things don't go his way, he tends to pout about it, and that draws others to him. And Milo sometimes feels invisible as a result. But one fateful day at the park with Grandpa, Milo has a really interesting insight and learns that his superpower might not be as obvious, but it might be just a little bit more powerful than he realizes. And as he learns that bringing joy to others is something that comes naturally to him, he begins practicing the superpower. And the more he brings joy to others, the more happiness he finds himself. This charming story celebrates all those superpowers that are not as obvious as others, and how those can impact not only one's own life, but also others around them. This story is written for a preschool or early elementary school aged audience, not a whole lot of text on each page, and it is narrative in style. It incorporates a lot of dialogue and a lot of familiar circumstances that readers are likely to recognize. The illustrations themselves are fairly simplistic in design. You can see the lines as you go through. A lot of the facial expressions are mirrored from one character to another, but there are color differences to help you know which character is which, and there's a lot of different kinds of faces and people in the background as well. So even though there's not a whole lot of lines or detail in the illustrations, they do incorporate a lot of elements that you can appreciate as you read the story. So as you're going through the book, you discover Milo, his superpower, and observe as he goes from kind of a quiet bystander to one who's really making a difference in the lives of others around him. And the text incorporates with the illustrations in a nice way. It doesn't cover up any of the illustrations. It's easy to see, and it leaves the illustrations open for others to examine as well. So whether you're reading this aloud to a classroom or to a home environment in which a child might find themselves being a little bit like Milo themselves, there is a lot to take away from this book. It's really, really well-rounded, and it invites others, both children and adults, to consider what their superpowers might be and how they can use them for good. If this sounds like a great fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it wherever you get your books.